Alright, alright. Well, hopefully I do not sound like I'm in a bucket anymore. Game 1, or game in a series here, Sandan Foe, whatever you want to call him here on Tide Hunters. Foe spawning as the blue human on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Sonic spawning right up on the bottom right. Yeah, comments about, yeah, Crota's had audio problems as long as I can remember. Yeah, audio issues are tough, right? Like, live stream seems to be okay sometimes, and then suddenly what's recorded locally doesn't seem to be really good. I'm just trying to figure out all of those places there. So thank you everyone who's replying back. I'm asking, I know that a lot of audio adjustments were made, and some people were like, yeah, the game sounds too loud, music's too loud, this could be adjusted better. Other people just saying, oh yeah, there's a problem. Constructive feedback, right? Do it better is not necessarily the feedback that I am looking for. Anyways, human versus night elf in this 1v1 should be interesting how this unfolds here. We are going to be going archmage into a warden, and we'll see if, well, we'll see how huntresses play out. Huntresses have been are now that new 1.5 into tier 2 unit that does seem to cause a lot of problems. Human versus night elf in particular, since there are no easy ways to deal magic damage for orc. I'm wondering if that's going to be too much.
The player's forces are under attack.
Go ahead and take some damage here. Gonna try to dig. You can see the sea after the archer. That's not supposed to happen. Archer taking quite a beating. Perhaps try to hide behind this little brother fighting next to the big brother. Hoping the big brother takes all the damage. Archmage out on the back. Well, it looks as though, well, Archmage gonna try and clear out this snake off of the north. Caster does get hit by the little brother on the back here. Armor can take that pretty quickly.
The player's force is under attack.
Up the side. Off here. We're going to see a little bit of experience for that warden, as that warden gets to level 2 and is now opting to use Fan of Knives. Beautiful Fan of Knives hitting multiple targets here. It looks as though one peasant may end up being taken down. There goes one, and now the warden is hoping to get more damage against another. However, the warden has no way out of this position. Is he going to blink? Yes, he is. Trains up a blink at the last moment in order to get away. Smart call there. Not forcing a scroll of town portal, instead the warden.
A player's forces are under attack.
Hit points, has to be careful. There are a couple of footmen nearby. There is actually too many peasants on the main gold mine, so though uncharacteristically making a big mistake, lumber issues may come up as well, as we're looking at the warden trying to perhaps try to dive on in here, get a little bit of damage. All right, there's some peasant damage. There's going to be a Fan of Knives here in just a moment, just waiting for it. And what is going to go down here? Melissa now making its way around. Warden is just going to try to blink away instead, able to head
a player's forces are under attack.
Buying time. Off to the north here, we can see Arcane or a scout tower trying to get set up. Footmen are off on the side. There's the Arcane tower here. No Arcane tower there. Warden perhaps going to, well, sell this roll of Tone Portal, picks up a boost of speed, waiting for a staff of teleportation, I believe, and then perhaps going to try and teleport back home, heal up, and then move on out. Alright, no heal up here. Patient of Wonders instead giving us the damage. It is double risk nearby to offer it a triple risk nearby to Alright, that Ancient of Wonders has 450 hits, so that is going to be quite the amount of damage in absorb here. As we now see getting that or that effect Ancient of Wonders is going to hold at 150 hit points. So more risk coming over to repair, and well,
is
going to be
under
going up
siege.
against a level 3 Warden with level 2 Fan of Knives. Warden comes across here. There's that Fan of Knives right there. Is it going to try and get another takes down 4 peasants in an instant, and there's just one peasant able to hide away here. So doing a little bit of micro back and forth, and it looks like he's going to be able to hold steady. There, taking on another peasant again.
Players' forces are
over. Archmage Tower now has used that back all of the mana as the Archmage it's here. Archmage to be able to finish off that footman or that archer. Archer down to 25 hit points. Archmage really wants to get those final hits in, and I believe will be just shy. Oh no, gets enough experience for level 3. Level 2 water elementals are now on the board. We're looking at Tho trying to set up this expansion off to the north here. There is plenty of militia. Warden just going to go ahead and shadow meld. But with all of the auto attacks, oh, that's up here. Not going to be able to take out. That is a major issue here. Sonik is going to be in some major trouble. It is constantly going through the town hall. Steady at 70 hit points. And the Warden falls at level 3. I was going to say Sonik had a big advantage going into the mid-game here, but losing that level 3 Warden is going to be a major setback. Warden should be getting resurrected here, or resurrected at the tavern already. That is a lot of archers shadow melding. Archmage is going to just try and run by here. Warden needs to drink up from all of these moonwells, perhaps drop the circlet of mobility and the mantle of intelligence. Drop them all and drink all of it back up. Perhaps get this last couple of moonwells and really need those
players' forces are under attack.
Archer is going to be running off to the north here. We're going to see a Fan of Knives. There we go. However, the Ancient Wonder is quickly taken down. Warden sitting at, well, level 3 is going to be able to get off even more Fan of Knives. Needs effective Fan of Knives to really, well, add a lot of damage to all of these footmen here. You can see, wow, the closest footman actually didn't take that much damage here, as more units still trying to engage. Archer trying to finish off a couple of peasants here. Panda now out here on the battlefield. So we have Breath of Fire, and we also have a Fan of Knives to rack up even more damage. Low hit point footman does get taken out, and the giant sea turtles did not wake up. Off to the north here, Archer going to get taken out here. Archmage sitting at level 3. Are we going to perhaps look at a Breath of Fire across all of these peasants? There we are. Another blow over again, as we could see a couple of footmen here trying to engage me. All right, Brewmaster needs a little bit more experience. We're going to see another Breath of Fire, perhaps. Are we going to see that Breath of Fire? Yes, we are. There's a Breath of Fire. Takes on another peasant. Beautifully done by Sonik. Sonik sending in the Warden first in order to take a little bit of that back damage from the Archmage Tower so that the Panda could hang on to its mana and get that Breath of Fire. All right, Sonik sitting here at level, Sonik still sitting here. Archmage to retreat back here. Level 3, level 1 as the, well, the Wonder Select taking down 8 floors, trying to get set up here, and this is destruction on an 8 level 4 now on the Archmage as the Warden falls at level 3 away from the action here. All right, low hit point Archmage try and Warden sitting at level 3 right now, waiting to get resurrected. There goes another footman again. There's simply just too many units, as we are going into an Ancient of Lore and perhaps abolish magic.
A player's forces are under attack.
So Tho is trying to just sit on his expansion, perhaps a little bit more here. Panda down to 340 hit points, going to be forced to retreat back. Needs to find a way to heal back up. The moonwells are pretty dry, so the Panda is going to have a difficult time here. All right, going to go ahead and try to drink up a little bit more, get enough for a single Breath of Fire. You can see another Ancient Wonder trying to be built on the side. That's quickly going to get canceled as the Panda goes back across here. But there goes another Water Elemental again. All right, 41 over 40.
Town is under siege.
Though sitting on 600 gold, should be bring up a large number of units. The Warden cannot get here, back out here on the battlefield fast enough. We now see a couple of outlying on the battlefield as well. All right, a little bit of slow poison. Are we going to see some defend damage as well? Low getting taken out. That low Dryad really spreading that poison damage across multiple units. But Archer is also falling in as well. Like
players' forces are
is even, but the Warden is now getting back out here onto the battlefield. Ancient of Wonders down to 88. It's going to get canceled Fan of Knives. Are we going to see a Fan of Knives and the Archmage able to escape at 35 hit points? Warden needs a little bit more mana to bring up ahead. Archmage instead with the Scroll of Archmage was dangerously low on hit points. Clarity Potion, Scroll of Regeneration. And now, Tho has a small window of opportunity to try and regenerate some hit
Player's
points.
forces are under attack.
However, Sonik is not pursuing and putting in pressure. This is going to be a rebound, get his footing back underneath him, and perhaps come back to the as an immediate healing hero should help out tremendously. Legion of War absorbing damage here. Panda going to get to level 3 off of this Street Camp Caster at last. Meanwhile, Warden sitting at level 4, finally going to get this Ancient of Wonders operation.
A player's forces are under
Perhaps
attack.
he needs to get some Moonstone going to start filling up these Moonwells, also using up a Clarity Potion. Get some reveals going. We are at tier 2, not taking to tier 3. We do not see any additional arcane sanctums. This is just rifle. I'm not seeing a transition into huntresses, so those dryads could get picked apart pretty quickly. And
a player's
Sonic
forces are under attack.
have the right thing to try and counteract this. All right, take it down. Damage over points. Absolutely. Back away. Nice supply. Try getting cleaned up here. Damage getting racked up once more. Warden at the 90 mana. Another mana. Got to go ahead and do of shadow. Hit points drop. Warden also low on hit points. More damage back across here. Remaster Warden 29 made it off. And Warden sitting at 107. Well, with that piercing damage, finishing off 2 Dryads easily. Now giving the Archmage level 5. Level 3 Brilliance Aura. Alchemist is going to have more mana. Same thing for that Priest. Not going for level 2 or level 3 water elementals. So a different as the Goblin Alchemist is sitting in that one. Alright, some Dryads here. Has to be very careful. Rifles can easily focus fire. You can see that quick volley right there. Want to see a Man of Knives. Where's the Man of Knives? There we are going after some of the wings. There goes the Dryad again. That was denied right there. Beautifully done. As the Panda is still looking to get resurrected. Sonic right on the ground. Sonic needs to get in a bunch of kills across those riflemen. 45 supply compared to 60. This is not looking good.
A player's forces are under attack.
What is Sonic's hope here? Sonic needs to land a good Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. Timing is going to be key. Warden, however, already backed up against a corner here. The rifleman with that superior range right now, able to get a nice focused shot onto these unarmored Dryads before anything goes down. We'll see a Druid of the Fog here. Are we going to get a rejuvenation? See a rejuvenation on that Warden, but even with the rejuvenation, he's blinking out of a dangerous slot. Alright, Warden has plenty of mana, and the timing is going to be key. Panda going to be coming back out here onto the battlefield. Here we are, here we go. This could be the final stand. Warden trying to hold on, hold that fire. It's going to let this break back here. Still needing a bit more mana. There is a potion of mana, and now another rejuvenation going down onto that Warden. Alright, Panda needs some mana. This is going to be a bit of a problem. Warden trying to let the monster right here. With the heal up. There's another Druid of the Claw. Looking at another rejuvenation onto that Warden. And there's another rejuvenation again, trying to keep this Warden topped off on mana and just keep things alive and well. Goblin Alchemist and the Archmage. No scrolls of healing. Goblin Alchemist needs to find a way to continue to keep alive and heal. 70 supply compared to 4. Here you are. Training now done. Druid of the Claw ready to come out. Panda now going to try and come out as well. There's the mana. and well, though able to outlast his opponent in those battles. That economic advantage, a big difference, nearly 4,000 gold difference, 45 or nearing 4,500 once you account for upkeep. And yeah, that upkeep difference or 4,000 difference, absolutely huge. Being able to maintain a larger army as well, 73 supply at one point compared to 51. Sonik unable to do enough damage with that level, with that warden. I believe it was a level 4 warden and that level 3 panda to take out any of those riflemen. Scrolls of healing, healing spray, more than enough to keep the units alive and well. And with that, well, just unable to break Tho, even though there was a couple of times he was bent. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below, and I hope you guys see me next time.